All right, welcome everyone. We're so excited to be here with you tonight. We're so thankful that you have stepped up to be a chaperone for AYC 2026. My name is Brian Henritzi. I'm the director of the Office of Adolescent Catechesis and Evangelization, and I've got two of our staff members here with us. If they're going to introduce themselves, and then we'll just jump up right in.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Gonzalez. I'm Associate Director in the OACE office, Associate Director of Hispanic Youth Ministry. So glad to have you all on this meeting today.
Howdy, Amy Ann Davila, Associate Director for OACE. I am your dialysis contact for youth confirmation and many other things.
Yeah. All right, so there's going to be a lot of people jumping out of this webinar. We're going to try to move fast, keep it nice and short to honor your time. There's going to be a lot of questions that come up. If you have some, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Amy and Jeanette are going to try to help field those as we're going. But in the long run, if you have really deep questions, make sure you take them to your key leader, and your key leader can give you further instructions throughout the weekend. So let's do a quick prayer as we begin in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, source of all goodness and all grace, we ask you to bless our time together, bless the chaperones that will be attending and serving the young church at AYC this year. We ask that you inspire them, help them to be diligent, help them to be faithful in the ministry that you've called them to, and help them to lovingly disciple and mentor the young people in their care throughout AYC and throughout all the time that they have with them. Mary, Queen of Heaven and Queen of Peace, pray for us. We ask this all in the most holy name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. All right. So we will be sending out this webinar recording afterwards to everyone. So if you show up late or if you miss it or anything, we just want to kind of give you guys that heads up. In the packet that is in the chat, there is a full breakdown of everything we're covering, everything in detail. I want to take your attention to the conference schedule. Conference is Friday through Saturday or through Sunday for AYC. Friday, and we'll go into some of those details as we go on. Some of the big changes this year, if you've been a chaperone in the past, is in how we're doing confession and mass this year, and even our whole Saturday schedule. We've swapped from having mass in the morning and confession following to having confession in the morning and mass directly following after a longer extended lunch break during that time. So be sure that you go through the packet, look at the schedule, be aware of it. You'll also have access to that schedule all weekend long at AYC. One of the key things that you guys are going to see and know is that when you and your key leaders show up on Friday, everyone is going to be getting conference credentials. In years past, we've done wristbands or name badges. This year, we are doing name badges. They're going to be a nice hard plastic kind. We wanted something special to honor our 70th conference. The QR code on the back of the name badges will take you to a whole set of links and resources, including the schedule, workshops, maps, all that kind of things. The QR code you see here is the one that will be on the name badges. If you scan it now, it's going to take you to a filler page. All of the resources are not there. They're not up and live. They will be ready by the time of AYC later this month. These conference name badges also become kind of your pass to everything. All right, so you, the young people, everyone, to enter into conference spaces, the main hall, the workshops, the vendor section, you're going to be asked to make sure that you have these name badges, and the lanyards will be color-coded. So there's 4 different colors, and that helps us to rotate people within the main ballroom session. So no one is ever like stuck in the back the whole time, or no one's like gets the premier spot at the very front. We use it to help make sure that there's a fairness in the seating in our main arena. And so you'll need to have these with you at all times. Your young people will need to have them with them. We're going to make sure that our program assistants will not let you into certain spaces if you don't have that. In addition to that, you as chaperones and all adult leaders will have a pink wristband, and that wristband will signify you as an adult, so you have access to special privileges, or you have access to areas that maybe the young people will not be a part of. And so Amy is going to kind of take care of talk a little bit about check-in, check-out. Most of that is for our key leaders, but she does have some notes for you guys on this as well.
All right, friends. So check and check out is done by your key leaders. That means they do check out for the conference itself, and then they check in and check out for the conference itself, and then check in and check out for the hotel. We kindly ask that during this time that you do not gather with your key leader when they're checking into the hotel or into the registration desk for the conference. Your responsibility during this time, and Jeanette's going to go more into it a little bit during Bayou Village, but will be to care for the teens that are arriving. And so make sure that you are with them in the spaces that they're going, be aware where they're going at all times. Sometimes people stay behind in the area, in the pre-function area to care for their luggage. They're probably receiving the teens. And so be as much as support as possible to your key leader. You really are the right hand during this whole weekend. So in case something happens, an emergency happens, you are their persons, not just caring for your teen if you have a child or just specific group. So remember that it's all that we're doing this together. Be aware that anything that does happen within the hotel, it will eventually become the responsibility of the parish if we get billed for anything. So we ask that you don't do any room service, that you don't do any of that. But everything, and Brian will talk more about the hotel, a little bit of what's blocked and what's not blocked as well. Room keys, just so you know as well, that's only for adults and for key leaders. Room keys are not allowed to be have with the teens. And then check out, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say a big part of that is safe environment reasons. If you give a teen a room key, there's very little to stop them from going up and getting into shenanigans. So we ask that if young people ever need to go up to their rooms within their times, they need to be escorted by one of their adult leaders, just to kind of help make sure that we are keeping them safe and keeping them in good, good graces with everyone and everything. Anything else, Amy, for check in and check out?
No, just be aware. I think just following up with that with safe environment purposes. So be aware where teens are at all times. So just let them well, I'm going to go over here. What's over here? We don't know what over here is. And so remember that we are not the only guests in the hotel. So we want to be respectful of the spaces that we are in and also respect the other guests that are present as well. Whether you're staying at Embassy or you're staying at the Hilton.
You're muted, Jay.
Thank you so much for that. So Bayou Village is an amazing 3-hour time. It opens from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the purpose of this is for space for the young people to kind of get ready, kind of like that, amping them up for conference while key leaders taking care of all the check-in and hotel stuff. This is a space in which youth will be able to experience the inflatables, vendors, profit exhibitors. The DJ will be there. We have these new Switch game systems that's going to be there. And so it's a little bit of everything. We have face painting, everything. And so this is a great time to just be in there while things are being taken care of at the beginning. So chaperones, what we're asking of you is to be in there with them, to chaperone, making sure that they're great, well, that they're enjoying themselves. There's restrooms on both sides of the ballroom if you don't know. So if they need to step out to use the restroom, it's all there in that same area. But it is a great time for those 3 hours. And then when you are ready, whether you or a key leader can go up to the DJ, call on your group when you're ready to leave the ballroom. But it's a great time. Going to be on, I'm sorry, and I forgot to say, the Bayou Village is located on the 2nd floor. So while key leaders are either on the 1st floor for hotel or on the 4th floor, you'll be going to the 2nd floor where they're in the pre-function area outside the ballroom. You actually can put your luggage there and everything waiting until you go up to your hotel rooms, and then you just go inside the ballroom and have a great time with your young people.
So really quick, some of our hotel procedures, just kind of some quick reminders for you. Again, as they said, we're not the only guests there. We are the majority guests, but we're not the only ones. So that means we have to respect common spaces, respecting the use of the hallways and whatnot. As chaperones, it falls on you guys to really help make sure that the young people are behaving well, that they're respecting the other guests there. The hotel contract is booked with the Archdiocese as a whole, which means there's no early checkout. If you, for some reason, your parish has to leave for some sort of emergency, make sure you go to the 4th floor registration desk, and you'll see that on the map that you'll be able to access in that QR code, and that's in the I think it's in the packet. If not, we'll make sure that you guys all have access to that. That's where hotel check or registration is done for the conference. It's where you can turn in keys. It's where you can go for lost name badges. It's really your on-site go-to place there. If there are any damages or if there are any extra charges done to the hotels, those get charged back to your parish. So make sure you are monitoring the young people. Make sure you guys are watching them. Within the hotel itself, pay-per-view has been turned off on all of the rooms that we use. Room service has been denied to all of those rooms. So you shouldn't be able to incur any additional charges. But if for some reason something happens, just know that you guys have to be monitoring that. One big thing that we do is, I know there's a lot of additional meals, additional food times that you and your key leaders might be bringing. There is no food allowed, external food allowed in the public spaces of the hotel, which means if you're serving breakfast or if you are having like a pass out line of food, that cannot be done in any of the pre-function spaces or in any of the meeting rooms. It can be done in your hotel rooms, or if you're able to, on every floor within the hotel, there's kind of some lounge spaces. You can distribute food there. You just have to make sure you clean up all of your mess. But any of the main meeting floors, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th floor, for all of the meetings, those are not allowed to be used for public distribution of food. And so make sure that you guys are aware of that. Make sure you're watching that. Make sure you guys are, again, kind of supervising and guiding the young people the whole time. That's what you're there for. This weekend, as far as the chaperone goes, is for you to mentor and accompany these young people, to journey with them as they're encountering Christ. But part of that is also making sure that they're following the rules. And so with that, we go into talking about some of our safety and dress code and conduct. So big things on dress code is there's whole details of it in the handout. We don't need to go over every little piece, but making sure that the young people are dressed in an appropriate and a modest way, nothing that is too tight or anything that is too baggy and too loose, nothing that is offensive in any of its imagery or wording or anything along those lines, making sure that the young people's dress reflects their Christian attitude and the environment. And so one thing that we do really ask is that the young people and the chaperones avoid any political attire, so hats, shirts, t-shirts like that promote any one political party. Since Christianity is not partisan in any way, we just ask that not be there so that it doesn't cause any contention or disagreement amongst people while at the conference. As far as conduct goes, you as the chaperones are one of the first lines of defense for making sure that your young people are being, courteous, that they are being kind, that they are being polite to the fellow conference attendees and fellow guests at the hotels. There'd be us, the OA staff, and you'll be able to know the adult team and the ministry team by the fact that our lanyards will be in red for the weekend. So we'll be the only ones with red. You can always find us, but if we have to step in, that means that you as the chaperones and the key leaders are not doing your job. You're the first line of defense, the first line of discipline. We don't have the capacity of our 70, 80 person team to supervise or to monitor and to be the disciplinarians for the 2,200 people who are coming. So we're trusting on you guys, asking you to make sure that you are watching your young people and being the disciplinarians, treating people with respect, making sure that they're following rules, making sure that they are being safe, making sure that they are not only having a good time, but having a good time in such a way that it respects all of those who are around them. And again, for full details, you can read through the orientation packet for kind of some of those minutia things. Safety, going to you, Jeanette.
Safety. So just a couple of things to keep in mind. Obviously, you and your key leader are primary responsibility is to take care of the young people that are in your care. So some of the ways to do that, in which Brian was just mentioning, that we are there to support. We're a small team, but we have a special team in which, if you've been before, you've seen them, and if this is your first time as a group of people bright orange shirts. They're our program assistants, and they are there to assist in any kind of way. They will definitely have special instructions when it comes into being in the ballroom, for lunch, for dinner, all the time. And so their goal is to make sure that we are all staying safe throughout the weekend. So please support them as best as you possibly can. Listen to those instructions. Sometimes it makes it seem like they're trying to be the party poopers. They're not. They have instructions that they're trying to do to make sure that we're all safe. So with the picture that you see in front of us, it gets rowdy with the kids, which is an awesome thing, but sometimes we got to turn it down. And so we want to make sure that our program assistants are able to do that and that you're supporting them as well. So the next thing, as Brian had already mentioned, but I just want to reiterate, is the name badges. We have to have those name badges on at all times. That's how we recognize who's part of our conference. We want to make sure it's a safe space. So that stops people from just coming into the ballroom. More importantly, at lunch, to make sure who's part of our group. And then when we do our evening adoration in Discovery Green, to know who's part of our group and to make sure that we are taking care of our young people all times. Oh, I know it gets annoying because some of our young people do not like wearing those name badges. We need those name badges on at all times, so we appreciate that. Crowd control, as I was just mentioning, program assistants do that, but we need your help on crowd control. And so I'm going to speak a little bit harder on this part. Sometimes it's not our young people that we need to tell to calm down or to follow directions. Sometimes in the past, and I'm not saying it's you, we had a couple of chaperones that have definitely argued with our program assistants or even staff because they want to be up front or because they're having a good time and we're shutting down the party. It's not. Remember, we have our responsibility as a team as well, and we want to make sure that everyone is safe. So that crowd control is important. We've had young people being trampled on in the past. We don't want that to happen, obviously. We've had people kind of get smushed against the doors. We don't want to see those things either. So chaperones, we need your help to make sure that we are showing Christian love at all times, that our young people are showing that towards each other, that we're all going to have this amazing experience together. So, if they see you're the example, I know that they will follow suit. And so please help us with that. Also with curfew, this year at both nights, curfew is at 11:30. When we mean curfew is that they are in their rooms, the young people. And so obviously it is y'all responsibility to make sure that they're in those rooms, that y'all are walking back and forth. Yes, program assistants will be out. They will be making sure that there is no noise going on, no rowdiness, not disturbing the other people in the hotel. Very important. But help us out on that. And one of the things I am going to note, in the rooms, they have those the latches on the doors. Sometimes we put the latch out so the door doesn't completely shut. Those get damaged, guys. We've had reports in the past, so be careful with that. They make a lot of noise because they bang, and then they may get damaged, and it goes to your parish. So just keep an eye on that too. And so we appreciate that kind of support. And obviously, no guests. Like we're talking about those name badges and making sure we're keeping our people safe. We cannot allow guests to come up to our rooms. If parents or other people are dropping off food, they will meet you in the lobby and you come up and bring that food. But we do not allow guests to come to the floors or to just enter at any time. So that's very important. Help us out on that. And so we need your help on all these things just to make sure that we're staying safe as a team, as adults, and definitely as a youth people. And then next up, we have logistics. So things that we need to keep an eye on. Communication, key leaders, they know that they're going to be receiving a lot of communication through Flocknote throughout the weekend. I know that key leaders will be communicating with you, just to be aware of. And then, of course, how they were mentioning about the QR codes, that they're going to have those different informations. Just be aware how we're communicating. If there's any changes, you are aware of that. Next thing is first aid, very big that we make sure that we have every year for our young people. It is on the 4th floor in room 430. So if you are facing the ballroom, like before you go in, it's to the right-hand side next to the stairs. They're always there the whole weekend, and they're there to accompany us. Just be aware you cannot send youth by themselves because there has to be some kind of signature. So chaperones, you have to accompany young people while they're there. And then if you see that your kid is, seems to be sick just for a longer period of time, maybe something to be aware of. leader if they need to go home. They're not allowed to go to their rooms. So how keeping that key and everything, if they're feeling ill, they don't just hang out in their hotel room. There are some cots that will be in the first aid area if they need to chill, but not allowed to just go up to their rooms. And it's open while we're having activity. First aid is open during the whole time. As we do our Eucharistic procession adoration, they'll be out there at Discovery Green as well. So they're going to be with us. We have a good group of people that will be with us for first aid. Next up, we have our sensory room. So our sensory room is just a low noise, calming space, and that's exactly how we want to keep it. That is located on the 3rd floor, 334A. So if we're trying to face like the ballroom side, it's going to be on the left side of the hotel. And that area is meant to be quiet because we want to make sure we have a space for our young people that if they get overwhelmed or overstimulated, they can come down and hang out for a little bit. We have a person in charge who is certified to be there. And so, again, we need adults to accompany them. So chaperones, if you come down with them, is not a babysitting gig. It's not to have someone sit there, and especially if they just aren't following directions, really is a space just to kind of get away and calm down, or, you know, just a lot of stimulation that's going on. And so it'll be there for the whole weekend from Friday until Sunday. We look forward to that. We hope that you take advantage, or you have young people that want to take advantage. It's a great space. I look forward to that. And then room space for parish time. We talked about it, but just so you'll know, you and your key leaders, there are different spaces in levels or floors, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor, in which you can have parish time. But, excuse me, just to be aware of who's around there. Again, that control, not to be too noisy. Don't forget, we're in the hotel. Stay away from that quiet area on the left-hand side for our sensory room, things like that. And it's first come, first serve. So if those spaces are filled, then we go back up to our floor in our rooms, and that's where we stay at for the rest of the evening. Okay, I think that's it. And just as a reminder, Brian mentioned it, there's no food, outside food on levels 2, 3, and 4. If there are any outside food, we take it up to our rooms and we stay there. There are areas in which, small areas, first come, first serve, in which there's a little gathering area, but that's it. We got to remember to say that and to respect what the hotel has for us.
Yeah, one last item of logistics is around our workshop times. You'll see on the schedule, there's 3 different rounds of workshops. We have early riser ones on Saturday morning that begin at 9 a.m. If you have young people who are going to those workshops, then we should have adult leaders accompanying them as well. In the morning, there'll be a 2nd round of workshops, and during that morning workshop period, there is an adult workshop that is geared towards you guys. So we encourage some of you to go to, others to kind of filter on, make sure you guys are helping to supervise your young people at all times. But if that's something that you're called to, it's all about balance. Right, Amy, what was the theme of that workshop again?
It's just life balance between ministry and personal life.
Life balance between ministry and personal life. So it'll be a great presentation by a former youth minister, current director of religious education. And so there's that adult workshop. And then in the afternoon, there's a workshop that is specifically just for the key leaders. So we're going to ask them to come time. So we're going to have some things that are just for them. And during that time, we really need you as the chaperones to be out and monitoring and supervising, make sure the young people are attending their workshops, that they are being engaged, and they're not just kind of using that time to wander around or to be disengaged from the conference. So that's that last item on our logistics, is those. And then, lunch.
I was going to talk about it. It's okay. Just to be aware that for lunch is one of our major things is that we eat in Discovery Green. It's kind of a good time to step away from the hotel. But then it's a great, time to just eat something that's away from the hotel too. And so this map shows you how we're going to be leaving the hotel. There's a lot of changes that's going on right now in downtown. We'll have some police officers that as we cross from the hotel, we're actually going to be crossing towards George R. Brown, walking over a little bit and then crossing again and getting into that line so you can pick up your food as you see the double X's, and then you have a space to eat on that space where it says reserved for AYC or on the Great Lawn. All we ask is have a great time, but also pick up after yourselves. And we're gonna you're going to get messages again by your color. So we'll say which colors to line up, just so it doesn't feel like y'all are just standing there or in a line for a very, very long time. And that way, as we go through the distribution, you have a good time. You're there until you're done. You can go back to the hotel also. You have the options to, but remember, no outside food. You can go back up to your hotel rooms if you want to. But if not, this is a perfect time for them to kind of have some outside time. And then right after lunch, hopefully we get through with all the people through the lunch distribution, but we'll be going into Mass. And Father Viet has given dispensation that if we just cutting it close instead of waiting for that hour, he understands we'll be able to eat and then enjoy Mass together at 2:00. And for dinner, it'll be the same thing, that you'll get texts of when your parish can go and have a seat. So just be aware of that. I will say also, these are the moments where it kind of gets hard if groups get split up. Chaperones, this is where I need your help sometimes. Where if you do get split up, just take care of your kids. You'll eventually get into the ballroom for dinner. Same thing for lunch. Everyone's trying to do the same thing at the same time. So if our kids get antsy, let's calm them down, and knowing that we're all going to have, be able to eat at that same time. And chaperones, hopefully you're not the ones that is getting upset. We understand that it can be a lot sometimes. We may get overwhelmed, but be patient with us. And like Brian was saying, that if we see that if it's one of us having to speak to you, something happened that shouldn't have happened, and we don't want to talk about that, right? So let's just be patient as we try to get through these meals together. We appreciate you on doing that.
Amy, liturgical guidelines.
Sweet. Sorry, I can't see the slide, so I'm gonna wing it. So liturgical guidelines, I think the most important part is we want to remember who we're there for and who is going to be with us present the entire weekend. And so a couple of things that are going to happen as you see it in your schedule. It would also be when we have Mass, please be aware of who we're with. And so this is, again, like Janetta and Brian had mentioned, you are our first people. You are people that journey with your chaperones. And so if the kids fall asleep or they're on their phone or they have the headphones during Mass, I know some might have it for sensory reasons. And so those are the exceptions. And so just kind of please talk to the teens. It's not a moment to reprimand, but a teaching moment as well that we want to have with them. And so talk to your minister of what's going to be the action plan of who's going to do what. What does that look like for the nudging, and do they nudge each other as teens? And so please just be aware of that. That being said, also when it comes to attire, we want to make sure that we are appropriately dressed for the weekend. And so we want to make sure that we also remember in the space we're in. And so we don't want it to be too especially for the girls, too exposing during Mass, or sometimes the t-shirts are longer than the shorts. So just kind of be aware of that as well. And so please have that conversation with your key leader of how they're gonna communicate that. We will be having Mass on Saturday and on Sunday. Just so you're aware, there's a different time that we usually do Mass, and so we've shifted it to the afternoon after our workshop, and after lunch, and they're going to talk about that in a little bit for you. But there will be once we have Mass, after Mass, there will be a procession that would only be our chaplain, which is Father Viet, and it'd only be the seminarians. They're going to take the Eucharistic the Eucharist down to the chapel. We stay in that space. We do not follow them. So that being said, if you happen to be outside during that time, or when we return back into the main space to head down to adoration, and you see them bringing back the Eucharist up to the main ballroom, we kindly ask you to be present and be aware and show reverence, kneel if you're outside, if you're not in that space. And so how do we journey with those kids and invite them to teach them what to do in those spaces? Usually you'll smell the incense and you hear the bells. So you hear him coming, you smell him coming. So just be aware of that as well. For communion, because of the space that we are in, and because we are way over 2,000 people, and because of our schedule and efficiency, we're kindly asked that everybody receive communion standing, so in the mouth or in the hands. If for whatever reason somebody receives kneeling, please know that communion will not be denied, but we really, really encourage you all to please encourage your teens and for you all to receive standing. Yeah, I think another part for that within that for me, and then we're going to talk about the procession a little bit. Be aware of the schedule for the workshops. The workshops will have, like Brian mentioned, we'll have our early word workshops. Those will be centered on prayer. Then when at 1 to 11 to 11:45, we'll have a morning set of workshops, and then Saturday 3:30 to 4:15, we will have our afternoon workshops. And so join us. We would love to have you there, and also encourage the teens to participate in those workshops to kind of experience some more of what they want to be a part of. So that's it from my end for now. You're muted, Brian.
I did it on purpose. All right, moving on to our Eucharistic procession. Jeanette and I are going to tag team this a little bit. This is something new, something that we're doing special for this year. So typically we'll do Eucharistic adoration in the main ballroom where all of our general sessions are. This time on Saturday night, after the end of the session, our music minister Abraham Salas will lead us in, begin some slow, kind of easy to chant work music. Father Viette, our chaplain, will bring the Eucharist back in. And then we'll begin a procession from the main ballroom out of the hotel to Discovery Green. Before the beginning of that session, your key leader will be able to pick up packets, kind of like, backpacks worth of as worship aids and electric candles for all participants. So our hope is to have a candlelit procession from the hotel across to George R. Brown, then back over into Discovery Green, following the same pattern that we had for lunch. And Janelle will talk a little bit about that more. But we are going to have our adult program assistants along with a handful of other additional adults on hand to kind of help guide and lead the young people during this time, help them to stay calm and quiet and reverent. And we'll also have stationed people along that line leading an a cappella chant of the songs. So there'll be a worship aid that will help them sing along during this time. Then when the group gets to the stage, the band will be playing and will be singing and leading us in worship. There'll be an LED banner with lyrics up there. So the worship aids were really only covering that time from the hotel over to the lawn, and then it'll go into kind of a more traditional youth conference adoration experience. For you as chaperones, our hope is you'll help pass out those items, those candles, those prayer guides, the worship aids, and then you'll help them to stay reverent and stay in a prayerful mindset as they are in that procession, because it's going to be really easy getting 2,000 plus people from one to the other. They're going to get goofy. Teens are going to start messing around. They're going to get goofy. You get to kind of call them back into prayer, not in a mean way, not in a harsh way. We don't need to be yelling at them, but just kind of that gentle nudge, be like, hey, remember why we're here. Hey, sing along. Hey, let's stay focused. And kind of keeping them in line so that they can receive the most from this experience as they can. Jeanette, you want to talk a little bit more about the procession and lining up and all that kind of stuff?
So as we get closer, as you see that there's a curve, we're going back to the slope area. We're going to have some program assistants, some guys is going to let you know how you're going to line up. Because this is a moment that we are supposed to be reverent, the monstrance will be out, Jesus will be out. Hopefully you will help us in that sense, is that we can get everyone situated line by line from the beginning where it says ADA accommodations. Right behind that on that grass, we're going to start sitting or kneeling during that time and kind of having row by row coming in. And so all we ask, if you can talk to your young people prior to this experience, prior to it happening, saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. Let's remain calm. We're going to try to get all our people there. And so we want to make sure that we're just trying to be respectful, but at the same time, get us situated as soon as possible. So we can definitely be in that moment. That ADA accommodations that are in the front, there is a part in front of the stage that is concrete. We want to make sure that those that need that area are wheelchairs or just they need to not be in the group of people. That is a special area just right there for them. And then we'll probably even going to have a little overflow on the side, but we'll have more instructions on that as we get there. We will also have a first aid place or tent there just in case. Why? Because we know that it's hot. We might get dehydrated or anything. So know that we were also going to have that kind of support there as well. So all we're asking is to please help us as we're trying to get this going as we get situated as soon as possible. fast as possible and really just all be in prayerful time together. So we thank you in advance for helping us with this part that evening.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing experience, but it will be helped to be made more amazing by you guys, right? So remembering that that your job here is not just to be praying, but to make sure that your young people are being safe, that they are following guidance, that they are entering into prayer. So remember, this is a time for them, not just a time, not a time for you. And as chaperones, we're really going to ask you to be aware of that and make sure that you are focusing primarily on them and not your own spiritual needs. If you need to go to adoration, if you need to have that spiritual encounter, do so before the weekend. Go to your local chapel, do all that kind of stuff, and so you can be fully present to your young people. Jeanette?
I will also add, and I want to say this respectfully. I know that you may have an idea of where you want to be, but this is a moment that I needed to go fast and smoothly while we're still praying together. So if it's not an area that you wanted to be at, but they're not placing you there, help us and not be upset or not be not to take it out on our program assistants or anything, because they have instructions to make sure that we're all safely in that area too. And I'm just saying that ahead of time, because I know people want to get close to the stage. We're going to do our best to get that going, but I'm asking you if you could please just make sure that we just follow the instructions and go with the flow as best as possible. It's going to help us so much. And so I just thank you on that in advance as well, because we need that help.
Every year at AYC, we do a collection at Sunday Mass that goes straight to our AYC Scholarship Fund. It's called the Sabrina Tolentino Pena Memorial Fund. She was a former youth council member, right? She was a former youth in our archdiocese. I believe she was on youth council. I apologize. And when she passed away in her young adult years, and her family started an endowment fund because she loved AYC so much, to encourage and to promote scholarships for this. We had about $11,000 worth of scholarships requested this year, and on average, the last couple of years, we've gotten a $4,000 to $5,000 collection. And so we're really asking all of the parishes, all of the chaperones, core team members, youth who are there, to consider donating $10 each to that scholarship fund. Your key leaders will have an envelope that they'll collect money throughout the weekend, and we'll have baskets that pass around. So just encourage your young people to be generous, because we want as many people to be able to experience AYC as they can. And this is a big way that can help make that happen for those who may not be able to afford it as well as others can. Amy, banner competition?
Awesome. Sorry, I can't see the slides, so thank you for the cue. So for the banner competition, we started this a couple of years ago, and we are really excited that it's been such a hit for us. And so we want to be able to show and represent that parish. It's also great if your teens get lost and like, where are you? Where to find me? The banner is your best friend too. So that's total plus of it. That being said, every year we have a specific theme that we follow. So this year, usually we start off with the parish, but this year we're going to focus on Peace Be With You, which was the theme that we have for our conference. It is also the first words of Pope Leo. And so because we're celebrating the 7th annual conference for our archdiocese, we also want to put a little bit of what we call a Houston twang to it as well. So celebrating what Galveston Houston is and who we are in the city. So the only rule is this. We do not want an actual peace sign or a hand symbol for the peace sign. And so we want you guys to get creative in this. And so what is the reward, or what the award is? It will be up to up to $100 worth of pizza dinner for the winning parish for Saturday night. We will announce the winners by Saturday afternoon, and then I will be in touch with whoever the winner is, and I will personally coordinate with you to make sure that we get you your meal, and that way you don't have to order dinner for that night. So we will definitely communicate that to you by Saturday afternoon, well, with your key leader at least. So highly encourage you to work with your teens, work with the parish, so you can be part of that as well. And if they haven't signed up, please remind them to sign up. That being said, we also want you to follow our social media, post what's going on, make memories. We really encourage the youth ministers to post either from the parish and or the youth ministry social media that they have. We're really going to be really active on Instagram, and that's going to feed into our Facebook, but our main platform is our Instagram. So that's at AYC Houston. So we will not be reposting minors as far as like when a teen posts from their personal Instagram for safe environment reasons, but we'll definitely post those that are adults and those that are coming directly from your youth ministry or parish Instagram pages. So we highly encourage you to do that. Use the hashtag, helps us filter and pick something there for for us to post from you guys. If our photographers will be around and our videographers will also be around, so they might ask you to do a awkward TikTok interview or a dance or take a picture with your group or something, say yes. This is the moment that we want to make memories and be able to share that with you. And so please just say yes and be part of that memory making with your teens as well. So I think you guys will be really cool doing TikToks. I am just saying. We're going to do one tomorrow in the office. So they told me to wait.
So a reminder on those photographers, if they have the conference credentials on, the lanyards, the name badges, or a guest badge that has AYC's name on it, they are part of the program. If there are people who are trying to take pictures of photography without having those credentials, that is a good time for you to stop them and be like, and you have every right to ask them not to photograph your young people, to step away, and if there's an issue, then you can find one of the adult team and we can help take care of that. Some of the last minute items are just kind of prep. If your parish is dropping off, or if you guys are coming on a bus, the parking and the roads down there are a hot mess right now. There's a lot of construction happening because of certain, things being torn down. The parking structure at the Hilton was torn down to make room for a new one that'll be attached to George R. Brown. Why they tore down one before they built the other one, I don't know. But there's a lot of rubble. There's a lot of construction going on the roads down there. So be careful, be cautious of that. If you are driving and your parish is driving, the parking for the Hilton is to valet, and they're giving us the regular parking rate of the garage for valet parking. So just know that you won't be able to have easy access to go back in and out of your car because that valet is underneath Discovery Green in the Avienda parking lot. So everything that you need, make sure you're getting it out of your cars before you guys turn your keys in for valet. And then Mass on Sunday with the Archbishop is it's just for the conference. In some years past, parents have been invited, it's been encouraged. We do not have the extra space. Our numbers are so large this year, we don't have the room to be able to invite parents. So remind your key leader and remind the parents that are coming that unless they have the conference credentials, they will not be allowed into the ballroom for Mass, just to make sure that there's the space to adequately worship for those participants who are there. And that being said, I think that takes us to question and answer. Is there anything in the chat, Amy, Jeanette, that we need to kind of be answering or pulling up for people?
I wanted to put one that someone asked, can they take refillable water bottles? Yes, definitely. So there are some areas, especially near the restrooms, the water which they can refill. So that would be great. And some water towers as well. We want our young people to be hydrated. Every year, First Aid always tells us that the main people that go are the ones that are dehydrated. So definitely help them stay hydrated throughout the weekend, especially as we go outside on Saturday.
Answer, I say one about posting. You're welcome to post yourselves on your own social media platforms. Just as a safety thing, though, anything that's official from the church, if it's a church account that's posting, make sure that you're not just reposting yourselves on that or reposting anything from a young person. Part of the social media guidelines to the diocese is that adults should not be following minors directly or allowing minors to follow them. So that's why if there's a public church account, try to share things from that, or try to reblog or repost youth comments from that rather than from your personal one. But if you're posting your own personal things, that of course is more than welcome.
One of them is, do we not have our sit down formal dinner? No, we do. We still have it. You will be called by parish when to go down. That is going to be on the second floor in the ballroom, but we still have it. And I know we didn't mention what food was. In case you're wondering, for lunch, we have burgers or grilled chicken sandwiches. Not a lot. If those forms, if there's some dietary restrictions and chicken is the thing, please make sure you put that on there. And then for dinner, we have chicken Alfredo with broccoli and, of course, dessert.
So we mentioned the pizza. We mentioned that because a lot of parishes do like a second dinner later at night after we're done with the programming for curfew. And so some parishes go out to eat, let's say Friday when they arrive before we begin our programming, and they have a second dinner that night. And so then after the formal dinner, after we're done with adoration, then after adoration, we're done with, as we close at night, then that's where people order pizzas or whatever, they get food delivered. And so that's where that pizza winning prize is given to you all.
I love the question of teen with disability if they need to get for adoration. When we go over there, if you feel the need with a chaperone that they need to go earlier and kind of be settled already, we're good with that. We're actually going to be out there way before a procession begins. So we're happy to assist you with that if that is much more comfortable and helpful for you. We will be out there starting at 7 o'clock. So if you need to get there a little bit earlier, we're okay with that.
Now that's only for people who need the special accommodation.
Yeah.
You should not bring your entire group out there because we'll have one of our keynote presentations directly before, and then we'll process out from there. So for those who need special accommodations, those who need a little bit more of an assistance there, we can make those arrangements. But for the most part, you should be joining in the procession as a group. If we see an entire group of 20 kids show up, they're going to send you back to the hotel and not let you just kind of try to get the best seats or something like that.
We had a couple of questions regarding how to volunteer for Eucharistic adoration, as well as in the chapel, as well as being a Eucharistic minister. It's a pin on the chat, but I also just said it's on the chat as well. So feel free to sign up. We're going to resend that to you. I know we sent it out this week. We're going to resend it to you tomorrow morning with the recording of this meeting today.
Yeah, you should have received those links in the chaperone email that was sent out, registering for this, as well as reminding you about this. And again, like you said, it'll go out again.
We had a question about reminder. Just again, a lot of these questions we will send. Make sure to see this video if you weren't able to join us for the beginning. But parents for mass, and then the colors explanation.
Yeah, so parents are not invited to join for mass this year just because there's not enough space. We're 300 participants up from where we were last year, and there just isn't the physical room to be able to do that. While we want them to be able to worship and pray together, we don't have the space to be able to accommodate that. So just kind of be aware of that. The colors will be on your name badges. Everyone will have a colored lanyard, and they're going to be broken up into one of 4 color groups. The main room will alternate rotation. So sometimes your color group might be up front, sometimes it might be in the back. We try to make it even. We also use those color assignments to dismiss and prompt you to head towards lunch or head towards dinner. So you might hear like, okay, blue group head down to the lunch line now, or purple group head down to dinner at this time, and those checks will go out to the key leaders and I believe to the chaperones as well, right? So you guys will, if you're getting our text messages through Flocknote, then you'll be getting those updates as well, so you kind of can all flow and funnel together. Just kind of help us organize everyone.
We had a great question. Thank you, Santana, for bringing that up. I'm going to put the link in there for you guys. So the relics, we are going to have some relics present, a couple of saints in there with us as well. So we're really excited. And so we have 10 different saint relics that are going to be joining us, and they actually will be in the chapel. So you are
all
more
weekend
than
long.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to go and spend time with the saints and with the Blessed Sacrament. Please know that the Office of Worship has been beautifully putting this together, but we'll have also reading material for there. They'll provide an explanation of what to do or what's there to venerate the saints. And so yeah, you're more than welcome at any point. Making sure that your chaperone doesn't need you. You're just not leaving without the kids or something. Making sure your chaperone knows where you're going as well. That way you can go and visit the saints as well.
If you didn't receive the link for this, then chances are your email address was entered incorrectly in the SWGO registration. So because we've gone through diligently and invited everyone who signed up to be into our Flocknote group. So if you are having any issues, please email oaceevents@arch.org. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. And we'll try to get that corrected for you.
Yeah, Thank you, Mark. That's actually something that I was gonna mention right now. Please check your spam and make us some that we are in your focus mailbox. Also, some of you have not been getting our text messages. Please check your text message spam. I know iPhone has it and Google has it, and
Yeah.
so please check those. That way you can start getting them. That happened with our key leaders, and we were able to fix some of that, but it's sometimes not from our end. It's from your phone provider, your phone that you have. So please check your spam. Okay, see there. Okay, thank you guys for telling
Yeah.
us that.
And I saw a question that was asking about can chaperones participate in the sacraments. There will be there will be lots of priests there available for sacraments. We do encourage and say that the young people take precedence. So young people will always get first priority when it comes to the sacrament of reconciliation. So make sure that if you feel the absolute need to go the week before the conference. Go ahead, and then if there is time, if there is space for you to get in, then of course you're welcome to participate. But since this is the youth's conference, we want them to have that first priority. That being said, I've never known adults not to get a part of it, and we've expanded how often and how many priests we'll have available throughout the weekend. We'll even have confessions on Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. And there's always going to be priests there pretty much hearing confessions, except during our main general sessions. So. We want to be respectful of you guys' time. So any last one or two more questions before we end? All right. If you guys have any questions, please feel free. I posted it. Amy's reposted it. Send an email to oacevents@archgh.org or touch base with your key leader, and they should be able to help answer things to you as well.